killing his own family in cold blood.
I would go upstairs and shoot David, Dad, and the guy with my pistol crossbow, which would kill him,
and showing no remorse.
take my pistol crossbow. Who was supposed to shank his, she was supposed to die quietly. She was going to be the first one, she was. And then Robert would go in, slit Mom's throat, push her over with him, and both go in and cry.
This is the story of Michael Beaver, who along with his brother Robert committed an unspeakable crime of murdering his own family. These young men, aged 18 and 16 at the time, were found guilty of murdering not only their parents, but also 3 of their siblings in their own home in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. The details of their violent and heinous act are truly shocking and continue to haunt the consciousness of those who hear about it. It's been reported that the Beaver brothers had a disturbing history of aggressive behavior, which ultimately culminated in their murderous rampage. To everyone's shock, they had reportedly made plans to carry out a mass shooting at their local high school before changing their minds and turning on their own family. Thankfully, they were caught shortly after the murders and brought to justice. However, the implications of their actions still reverberate to this day. The Beaver brothers' story has sparked intense debate about mental illness and the availability of firearms, particularly in the context of mass shootings. Many are left wondering what could have been done to prevent this tragedy and how we can work together to ensure that nothing like this ever happens again. Maybe a glance at Michael's interrogation gives an idea. Have a look. As the interrogation commences, the detective strides into the room with an air of authority. He introduces himself curtly to Michael, who is sitting with a tense expression on his face. He notifies Michael that he and his brother are the suspects in a murder investigation. The suspect agrees to answer questions without a lawyer present and signs a waiver.
The very start. Okay, about 2 months ago.
Okay.
Is when we first really started talking.
So when you say we, who are you talking about?
Me and my other brother was also.
Your brother?
Yeah, who was the husband with me.
And what's his name?
Robert Beaver.
Robert? Okay. And how old is he?
18.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
A couple months ago, I think back to the start of this year, we started talking about voodoo and rampage and stuff like that.
Okay.
I didn't take it seriously at first, but then he started buying a body armor and stuff.
Where did he buy body armor from?
eBay and Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, legal.
Does he have a job?
He did at Mike Tech. He quit at the start of the year. And basically, it just kept escalating. He kept getting ruined, and he asked if I wanted in, and I said yes, so got me my own set.
Okay.
And then about a month, about June 30th, is when he came to me and said he found out that he can legally buy guns without permit in Oklahoma. He could.
Okay.
And that's when he started planning. And
Did you? Now you said he bought body armor, but you kind of said a bunch of stuff. Did he buy? What else did he buy besides body armor?
Besides body armor, knives, and he was in the middle of buying guns and ammunition.
I see. Okay. Where did he buy the knives from?
eBay too.
Okay. Can you tell me how many knives or what they look like or anything like that?
I think he had about 3 normal knives and then 1 small Camepax.
Okay. And then the guns, where did he start buying guns from?
He bought them online. I think the website's Bud's Gun Shop, and he bought 2 Glocks, 2 Glock 41s, and a shotgun. I forget, it's a Moss boot, I think.
Oh.
Bought the Glocks off of a website called Bud's Gun Shop, I think.
Okay.
And he bought the Moss boot off of the official website, and then had them shipped to the Okinawa gun. So they were actually now waiting for him.
Right off the bat, Michael started talking about how he and his brother Robert started getting prepared and how they bought armor and weapons. He explained in great detail all the weapons they bought. Michael also said that he didn't want to kill anyone and that he only watched. However, he later claimed that he stabbed Christopher, his younger brother.
I didn't kill anyone.
Okay.
I stabbed someone.
Who did you stab?
My younger brother, Christopher.
Christopher. How old was Christopher?
9, I think.
What did you stab him with?
My knife.
What's your knife look like?
It's green, kind of camouflage, honestly.
On where your hand goes or where the blade is? It's camouflage?
Yeah, it's all camouflage.
Oh, the whole thing?
Yeah.
How big is it? Show me how big it is.
I think it's about this big.
Okay.
Handleable.
So what was Christopher doing when you stabbed him?
He was laying on the bathroom floor. Robert was also stabbing him. Robert asked me to go over and help him. So I stabbed Christopher and then
Where did you stab her?
Oh, side of the neck.
Really? Okay. You okay?
Yeah.
You okay? Let me know if you need a break or anything, okay?
I'm good.
So was Christopher still alive when you stabbed him?
Yes.
What was he saying and doing?
He was just screaming.
Screaming. Did you say he was in the bathroom?
Yeah, I was next to the toilet, with that bathroom.
Who else was in the bathroom?
I think Victoria might have been in there. About
Victoria?
Yeah, my 4-year-old sister.
4-year-old, okay. I want to talk about that more, but we got to try to kind of stay like chronologically, if you know what I mean.
It was absolutely mind-boggling to witness how Michael could talk about something as serious as murder in such a matter-of-fact way. Right from the get-go, it was clear that this interrogation was going to be a ride of shock and fear, to say the least. The detective's jaw dropped as Michael launched into his story, completely unfazed by the gravity of the situation. After a moment of stunned silence, the detective gathered his thoughts and asked Michael to start from the beginning. Michael obliged and began recounting the events that led up to the fateful night of the murder. It was like watching a horror movie unfold in real life, as Michael described how he and his brother made their plans with chilling precision. The sheer indifference in Michael's voice was both unsettling and bewildering, leaving the detective struggling to keep up with the flurry of information being thrown his way.
When was that? You said the second night. What do you mean?
July 1st.
Okay.
Because we started June 30th.
That's when you started making the plan?
Yeah, that's when we found out you could buy guns.
I see. Did you guys make drawings or write things down? Or
I think he had a journal. He basically had his ideas down. I think it's under his bed.
Under his
I
bed?
haven't checked out.
Is it like a
It's
a journal, like a notepad, or like
Yeah.
a book?
It's like a blank book.
Okay.
Blank black book. I think it's like a little case or
So
something.
you think he wrote stuff in there?
Yeah, I think he was planning it.
Huh. So then the second day, you said that's when you realized that it might actually happen?
Yeah.
What made you realize that?
How serious he was. I mean, he was going through. He started planning on taking all of his money out of his bank and throwing away all his stuff. So
Why did he want to do it?
Well, mainly 2 reasons. I think it's because he just he says he hates everyone. He thinks society is pointless, and so he wanted to kill people.
Now,
And also he wanted to kill amount of other famous people like Columbine and James Egan Holmes.
Okay. Did you kind of feel that way too? Like when you guys were talking earlier, like
Yeah.
do you have a problem with society too, do you think?
No, I just.
Or you were just more like the number of people getting killed was kind of interesting and exciting?
Yeah.
Okay. So, because you mentioned a couple names, are those like serial killers or something?
What, like Columbine?
Yeah.
Columbine and James Egan Holmes. James Egan Holmes is a guy that shot up the theater.
In Colorado?
Yeah, he killed 12 and
Wow. How many were killed in Columbine?
Columbine, I don't know, 15,
Okay.
I think.
So did you guys have a goal? Did you have a number?
He just wanted, I think he wanted to kill like 50.
Michael's blasé attitude towards the murder investigation was nothing short of mind-blowing. He casually opened up about his brother's twisted mindset, revealing that Robert believed society was utterly pointless. The detective couldn't believe his ears as Michael delved deeper into the dark depths of his brother's psyche, rattling off names of infamous serial killers that they both admired. As if that wasn't bizarre enough, Michael went on to describe in graphic detail how they had prepared for the murder. Their heinous crime made the detective's head spin as he struggled to comprehend how these kids could be so deranged from reality. Just when he thought things couldn't get any weirder, the detective asked Michael if they had a goal in mind when they carried out the murder.
Tell me what plans you started making and coming up with.
Well, originally, I think kind of stayed steady throughout the month. So we wanted to kill everyone at the house first.
Okay.
And then wait for all the packages to show up over the weekend. And then we take the Yukon and we have our state with the guns and start killing, rampaging.
Did you know where you were going to drive to?
Towards Washington.
Washington State or DC?
Washington State.
Okay.
Washington State.
Why would you go to Washington State?
Just kind of
never been there?
just kind of the direction we planned on.
And you said Yukon. Do your parents have like a Yukon? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a large Yukon XL.
Does Robert have a driver's license?
He has a loan school.
Okay. So he would be able to drive it. Can you drive if you had to?
No, I couldn't.
Well, you can play video games, sure, you can drive a car.
It's a different.
Just not very well. I mean, you could get it from point A to B. You might hit some things on the way, but okay.
The detective had finally managed to crack Michael open, and he was spilling his guts like there was no tomorrow. To keep the momentum going, the detective cracked a few jokes, hoping to ease the tension in the room and coax Michael into revealing even more. The gambit paid off as Michael continued to answer every question thrown his way with alarming candor. He went into excruciating detail about the date of the murder and how they had meticulously planned every step of the operation. It was like watching a crime documentary come to life, with Michael serving as the star witness. The detective couldn't help but feel both fascinated and repulsed by Michael's twisted worldview. The sheer audacity of their plan was both chilling and awe-inspiring, leaving the detective struggling to wrap his head around the madness that had unfolded in front of his eyes.
The knives at first on the family, because the guns weren't going to be here till later on.
Yeah, and the guns would be too loud.
Oh, I see.
So, going to use the knives on the family, which obviously did not go as planned.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I just hope nobody saw us right now. Like, we didn't put more people out there.
Yeah. So then you picked a date, you said?
Yeah, which was yesterday night. That was the date.
Did you pick a time and everything?
Yep, yeah, midnight when most everyone was in bed except for Mom.
So how did you guys know? He just came and got you, or you got him, or what you guys do?
We were hanging out in the bedroom waiting.
Okay, and so
How did you pick the date?
We were evolving out with the packages and stuff we have. Because all the ammunition, he didn't want them to see that. So we killed him the day before the ammunition came out, the day after we moved.
Do you guys not like your mom and dad? I mean, is there, what can they, I mean, most teenagers don't like their parents, so I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean, Mom was okay, but Dad was a little bit,
Just a little bit too much.
Yes.
So, you guys waiting in the room,
Mm-hmm.
and was it right when midnight, and that's when things started?
Right at midnight, my sister, she came in because she was getting to go to bed. She came in to tell us.
How old is
13.
Okay.
She came in to tell us that Mom wanted us to get the kitchen done before we went to bed and put the cats up. And basically, we did what we planned. I got to my desk, and I had to look at something to this guy to roll up, but went up behind her, grabbed her, and slid with you.
Really? What did he use?
His large red knife.
Okay. A large red knife?
Yeah, it's like mine.
How big is it?
It's like mine, but
Oh, I see.
And then she fell to the ground screaming. Mom came in first, and then she was
Is
in
your
the
room
hallway.
upstairs or something? I don't know. I haven't been to your house, so I don't know.
Her room is downstairs. It's towards the back of the house.
And so she fell down and started screaming.
Yeah, well, I kept stabbing her. I kind of freaked out because,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't planning on
Were you
this.
saying anything, or, I mean?
I just stood there.
Okay.
And then Mom came in, yelling, called the police. And then he went over and stabbed her.
Then he stabbed her?
Yeah, he probably stabbed her, pushed her, footed down the hallway, and got up and ran.
Okay.
She ran out the door.
Okay, so she sat down at your desk, and he slit her throat, you said?
Well, she was standing at my desk and
Oh,
came
I
up behind and slit her throat, and she fell down screaming.
And then he stabbed her some more? When he was stabbing her some more, where was he stabbing her?
Her neck.
Oh, at her neck.
Her neck and her stomach.
As Michael delved deeper into the details of the murder, the room was filled with a palpable sense of horror and disbelief. The sheer brutality of the crime was beyond comprehension, and the fact that it was committed by two young children was nothing short of mind-boggling.
And then my mom came in and she started yelling, call the police, get Dad. And then he came over and started attacking her. He actually got up and ran out the front door.
Wow.
And once Mom was on the ground, he got up and started chasing after her.
And what were you doing?
Standing
Did you come out in the hallway?
No, I was just standing in my room. And the process, I don't know what I was doing.
So he stabbed your mom with the same knife?
Yep, so
And where did he stab her?
I think in the neck too.
Okay.
And no, actually, he stabbed her in the neck, pushed her into the kitchen, and then together. So with her, she started screaming, ran into the family. At the same time, he realized and left the house.
Okay.
I ran over and disabled the alarm.
Okay.
That's what I did. And then
Where's the pad for your alarm?
It's not the front door.
It's what?
It's near the front door.
Near the front door?
Yeah, so I went over and disabled the alarm, so,
But has she already gone outside?
She went outside and Robert went after her.
So where did she?
She was laying in the driveway and he to go her back. The bench, if you have the road, and started choking her.
On the bench out front?
Yeah, it was like a little bench, and he threw the bench on her and went back inside to go after the little kids.
Did he bring her in, or did she stay out there?
She stayed out there until he asked me to bring her in. I ran out. I had to go inside. That's why she's in the entryway. I had to go inside.
Oh, you brought her back in?
Yeah,
she's still alive?
Yeah, she was still screaming. And then that's about the time Dad came down.
Okay.
Because his bedroom's upstairs. And he went back in the boys' area where Robert was. That's what they call it, a room. And they started attacking Dad. They got a little bit of a fight. But then eventually Robert got him down and I think he killed him.
Did he cut his throat too? Where did that happen?
In our room.
In your room?
Yep.
And where were you?
I was standing in the hallway.
Okay. So did you see him cut your dad's throat?
Yeah.
Did he stab him other places too?
I don't know, I think he just went for the throat.
And where was she? Was in the entryway?
Yeah, I think she was in the entryway at that time. And then he went in and Daniel was in his room, which is down the hall. And I was like, let me.
How old's Daniel?
I think he's 12.
Okay.
And I was like, let me in, and he let me in. He was sitting down on the phone with the police. I grabbed the phone, which is my phone, got my phone. And then I ran into the kitchen and I smashed it on the ground. So,
which was your phone?
Yeah, it was my phone.
Now you don't have a cell phone anymore.
It was a sickening sight to behold as Michael's face lit up with a twisted sense of pride while describing the murder. The total absence of remorse was both chilling and nauseating, leaving the detective struggling to keep his emotions in check. Despite the gravity of the situation, Michael continued to recount events of the murder with an almost gleeful demeanor, as if he was relishing in the notoriety that would come with being a killer.
So when y'all got done at the house, where were you gonna go?
We were going to hang out there for at least the day. We were going to get the bodies in a room or something. Maybe had to clean up and then wait for the ammunition, go pick up the guns, and pick up all leave the next day.
Where were you gonna go? I mean, where was gonna be your mass plan to get the most bang for your buck?
We were just heading generally towards Washington State. We were going to do it statewide.
Did you guys have like were you gonna go?
Michael's obsession with weapons was becoming more apparent by the minute as he spoke about them with an almost reverential tone. Every detail was described with an almost obsessive level of detail, making it clear that this was a passion that he had been nurturing for quite some time. As the interrogation continued, Michael recounted the moment when he saw the police sirens while hiding in the woods. The tension in the room was noticeable as the detective pressed him for more details, trying to piece together the events of that fateful night. The whole situation was beyond comprehension, leaving the detective struggling to come to terms with the sheer scale of the horror that had unfolded. After finishing, the detective told Michael that Robert would give him his version of the story and asked if he would give him the same version, while also asking if there is something that he missed. The detective also mentioned to Michael that he's been cooperating so far and he doesn't want him to be branded a liar. The tactic the detective used was to get inside Michael's mind and make him feel secure. Replying to the detective, Michael said that Robert would lie. He claimed that Robert would kill his family no matter what. His brother's goal was to be famous, and if he doesn't help him, he would kill him too.
Yeah, I do want to do it with him because he's going to do it no matter what. He says if I don't do it with him, they'll just kill me too. Or leave me there, so
y'all have been planning this since 30th of June, you said?
Yeah.
That's the first time y'all talked about it?
The detective told Michael that the other officers interrogating Robert gave him a quick summary of his story. He said that he knows Michael was not completely honest. The detective used this tactic to get any information out that Michael was still hiding. And his tactic succeeded. Michael did slip up.
Or you stabbed more than just one time?
Oh, I stabbed Christopher more than one time.
How many times did you stab him?
I think twice.
Because you don't think we're gonna know that?
Stop thinking and go with what you know.
You mentioned forensics a minute ago.
I know.
I mean, I'm just one of hundreds of people that are gonna look at this thing, okay? I mean, we We got the state police coming in. There's, I don't know, 20 different forensic detectives at your house right now.
They're gonna be there a long time because of the scene that it is.
So everybody that you killed and every single stab wound that you inflicted, we're gonna know about it. And this is your last chance to just kind of let us know, to be honest, to man up and tell us exactly what you did and start making it right.
He confessed that he stabbed Christopher not once but multiple times. The detective reminded him again that this is his last chance to set the record straight.
And you both had knives, and we know you both stabbed everybody. So you guys are kind of at the same level. And so now it's who's going to be honest and make this right, and who's a liar. Okay, which one do you want to
I'm
be?
not.
Okay, so you're a man of your word?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to make this right and do the right thing at this point in time?
Yes.
Okay. What else are
Okay.
you missing?
You wanna start over then?
From like,
You tell us where you need to start.
he stabbed. I didn't stab him. I was stabbed who I took a window. So,
What about the crossbow?
crossbow, yeah. It was pulled back, like it didn't have a bolt to it or anything. At the time it broke.
It broke.
Yeah, I never that's not use it. It's broke. It's cheap.
So it was a broke before last night.
It broke and I got to God at 5 because I wasn't able to do anything and yeah, I just need to unclock it. So I went around the apple to get going this thing,
And that was a while ago, or that was last night?
Oh, that was last night.
Cause you were supposed to use it.
I was supposed to use it. I was caught back and I wasn't going to use it, so I had to, unclock it and look.
So nobody's gonna have any crossbow injuries.
No, they're not.
What about the big knife, the machete? Did that get used on somebody?
I think he might have used it on David. I think that's what he might have used to stab him in the chest.
And what about the surgical blade knife?
I think that's what someone to do with too. So yeah, I think he used all of them. I only used the one. I used the green one.
You only used the reading one, and you're sticking to that.
Yes.
Shortly after this, the interrogation ended. There's not much to say except that Michael's answers speak for themselves. Robert and Michael Beaver were both sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Their case has been widely covered by the media and has sparked debate about the role of mental illness and access to firearms in mass shootings. Let me know what you think about the Beaver brothers' heinous crime in the comments below.